Oh, it's because I was, okay. So if I go here, here, boom, boom. Oh, it's because I was, okay. So if I go here, here, boom. Okay. I got it. Okay. I got it. What up? It's 360 swag, boy. Sup, YouTube, what's going on? Wait, no. Wait, how does he say it? He's like, so YouTube, it's 360 swag, boy, and welcome. But, okay. Well, that is not that shit, Corey. Okay. It's 360 swag, boy. Haven't posted anything here in 3 years. Yeah, I was like 19 or 20. The last thing I uploaded, and it was Elden Ring, I think. It was different times back then when I uploaded that video. Yeah, I guess I'm live streaming this because I know when I record stuff, there's a limit of like an hour, and I don't know how long this is about to be, so I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna do the live stream. So I know there's just been a lot that's happened in my life since my last video. And did I get the checkpoint? And I remember back when I was like 14, and even a few years ago, I did used to write my thoughts out, like on notes. I know a lot of people like to journal or voice memos or something. People write it out, talk it out. Some people don't even need to do that. I guess I haven't done anything of the sort in a long time. It's been a while since I've even like written any of my thoughts out. And it is the first time I'm doing it in this style. I feel like it'll be a lot easier. So I could just say whatever's on my mind in the moment. And I want to do it on my channel because it's a lot more personal. Just to keep a record of things. And my goal is to hopefully I can one day in the future go back on this video and compare my life in the future to now and think, man, I was going through some things back then, but things are a lot better now. But until then, this is the moment. So this, God, mother, bruh, you just fall all the way down. Okay. Like I was saying, until then, this is the moment I'm in, and this is when I'm gonna talk about things. Super crazy that I'm about to be 23 now. I never would have guessed I would have made it to this age, and I don't feel any different compared to when I was like 18 or something. I feel the same, and I don't think I look much older. Anyways, off topic. But where do I even start? I guess let me very briefly mention my my first relationship, a girl named Monica that I met when I was 18. We dated for a month back in my Freebirds days, and we were in a situationship for, let's see, I had met her in August 2021. Then we fully stopped talking in, hold on, wait, does the method still work? No, it doesn't. Man, I'm not gonna remember that. So that's a total of what, like 8 months. And out of those 8 months, one of those was like actually dating, and the rest was just like a situationship. That was the first relationship I ever had. And then when it was over, long story short, I just kind of always assumed that she was always gonna be there. And then she ended up getting with the guy she would always tell me not to worry about. And that sucked a lot. I was very heartbroken about that. It took me a long time to accept what had happened and be able to move on with that. Now I can look back at that particular memory, and I'm able to see it as just that, a memory, and I'm grateful for what it was, and it was good when it was good. And I don't know, even then, after the breakup, I was hung up on her for 2 years. I guess it didn't help that I never blocked her number, and I would periodically reach out to her, like every so months, like on the holidays. I'd wish her happy holidays or something, or on her birthday, I don't know. And literally, when I was still at Freebirds, they were already dating. Like, I only found out they were dating because I had asked a guy, and you would think I would have just moved on, right? Why am I gonna stay hung up on a girl that literally has a boyfriend? And I don't know. I can't really tell you why I did that, but I did. And I don't know. I don't know why she never blocked my number, and I don't know why she kept responding. Maybe she pitied me. I don't know. Long story short, the last thing that happened with Monica specifically, I remember it was like January 2024, and I had asked her to talk on the phone, and she agreed. She told me she's busy and she'd call me when she had the time. And surprisingly, she did call me. And in that conversation, that was when I realized how much I had been wasting my time. I realized I was speaking to a girl that stopped caring about me ever since the day she started dating someone else. And I was just simply allowing myself to keep living an illusion for no reason, and being sad over someone that completely moved on, stopped thinking about me. And I realized that she hadn't changed at all, that she was still like making everything about herself and not really listening to me. And when I opened up and tried to talk about, I don't know, like a serious conversation, she like blew it off, paused, as nothing. Like, I don't know. And I guess hearing that was like the final nail in the coffin for me. And then I was finally able to say I moved on. And yeah, it took a long time. I was pretty sad for a while. And I remember I only got to enjoy my newfound peace for like 3 months, because that was in January. And then, so I guess this next thing I'm gonna talk about. I've talked about it so many times, to whether it's the same people or someone new. The point is, I've repeated myself so many times, and I guess I don't know. I feel like I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've talked about it enough. I don't think there's much more to say anymore. I guess I'm leaving this here as like a final send-off. I want this to be the last time I ever talk about it, and I want to leave it on record, I guess. So I guess that's why I'm doing that. And yeah, I feel like I've talked about this too many times. And basically, after I had found my newfound peace and acceptance after Monica, I was on Tinder for a little bit, but I never really used it like that. It had been sitting on my phone since I turned 18. And 18 to 21, that's 3 years. So that really tells you that I just wasn't using it. I only really, I guess, kinda seriously started using it, like, I think right after the call with Monica or something. Or like barely a few months. Maybe a little bit before that. I don't know. But I never really liked the idea of a dating app or something. And I feel like if I were to meet someone, I would much rather it be organically through like a bookstore, or your job, or a friend introduces you. Something like that. I just never really saw dating apps as bringing anything good. Like, I was always aware that they're a pretty big waste of time, especially how this generation is and how things are these days, how girls and guys are. It makes me realize just how different I am compared to like what's the norm of society today. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. Just somewhere along the lines, when I was young, I feel like I was heading down a path of very much becoming like a sociopath or a psychopath or something. But somewhere along the line, something changed, and I became very sentimental and very emotional about a lot of things. An overthinker. I developed really bad anxiety, and I have like an anxious attachment style and attachment issues. I don't know, but that plays a key role in my relationships, I've noticed, in the 2 that I've had so far. It's crazy that I'm able to say that it's been 2 of okay. I remember when I was younger, I always thought I was never going to be with anyone, and if I was, that it wasn't going to happen anytime soon. Now I can say I've been in 2 relationships, which is, I never thought I was ever going to be able to say that, and that's so dumb in and of itself. But I'm gonna try to summarize it. I've told the story so many times. I guess this will be like the shortened version. But basically, I was doing good. A little depressed because I was doing construction at the time, but overall, I was doing good. I was content for the most part. I wasn't doing bad at all. Life finally felt normal. Had Tinder, and then around came April, and I remember I matched with this girl named Jocelyn. And I didn't think anything of it. We had matched and we just talked about each other's profiles. I asked for her socials. We talked a little on there. From the very beginning, I was never really flirtatious in any way. I kind of treated it as just like, oh, it's just like, it'll be just friends or something. And then I remember the first time I talked to her was in Fortnite. And even then, it was like we were homies. It was like she was one of the boys. I was like, yo, what up, gang? What up, cuz? And even she, like, matched that same energy. Long story short, yada, yada, yada. I went to her gym. That was the first time I saw her. And even then, when we talked at the gym, I just treated her like I treat any one of my friends. It was very friendly all around. And then I remember, basically, she asked for like, oh, what were like your first impressions of me? And I was like, oh, I think you're cool. And she said, oh, me too, and I think you're cute. And I was like, oh, really? I also think the same. And then I remember after that, oh my God, no way, bruh. Take me up. You're bald and ugly. Okay, it's fine. It made me lose my thought. I remember after that, then we started like regularly like texting, and then she had gone to our concert, and I was like, oh, you should get me some merch. And then she was like, oh, I'll come drop it off. And she did. And I don't know. I'm really bad at catching hints, because I guess it's not normal for a girl to wanting to come to your house at like 2 a.m. But I genuinely was like, oh, she's just gonna drop the shirt off. And she was like, oh, like, you don't want to come in the car for a bit? And I still didn't think anything of it. And then she was like, oh, I was gonna say we should get food or something. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna go home. And I don't know. Then eventually she was like, we should hang out for real and do something. And I was like, bet. And then we did. I remember we went to the Domain. We went to this food truck that we ate like a hot Cheeto hot dog or something. I don't exactly remember. I'm pretty sure. And then we went in like at the Domain and got like some frozen yogurt. I hate this game. I want to die. And even then, I still wasn't thinking anything of it at all. Not really. And then when she had dropped me off, it was kind of like a moment of awkward silence. And then when she had texted me, she was like, I can't seem to read you. Like, you're really serious. Like, I can't tell what you're thinking. I don't know if you like me. I want to tell you I like you. I wanted to kiss you. And then from there, everything just kind of took off. Pretty much right off the bat. I barely knew this girl we had just met, and like not even a month after meeting her, things already escalated so quickly. Like, I'm not gonna go into all the details of the intimacy stuff. Like, first of all, it's irrelevant, and second of all, it's a little too NSFW for the channel. Even though I don't have any revenue and nobody's gonna see this and I'm not gonna make any money from this, I shouldn't talk about that. And that's irrelevant to the story. But anyways, intimacy aside, after that it pretty much took off. Like, she started talking to me like if I was her boyfriend, like calling me little nicknames and stuff. And I reciprocated, and I like to call that was like the golden age of what me and Jocelyn had. Like, that was like May, and it was really good that whole month. Really good. I was seeing her like all the time. She was coming over all the time. We were texting all the time. And I had completely forgotten what that felt like the feeling of butterflies in your stomach and like slowly falling for someone and like oh, I'm gonna send that risky text. Oh, I think I'm starting to like him, and you get a little crush on each other and all that. I had completely forgotten what that felt like because it had been 2 years. And then after I fully got over what happened with Monica, like it all felt like a really long dream. Like I wondered if it ever even happened, because when I guess like came back to reality, I wondered if what I had with Monica was even a reality that I legitimately lived at one point. And I even still have some of the stuff she gave me in a small, tiny little letter. A letter she gave me. Tiny little letter she gave me. So I guess it was just a reminder that I did once have that love, and someone did once care for me, and that indeed was my reality at one point. So I kept it. But I had forgotten what that actually felt like. And I had forgotten what it felt like to have hope again for something and for someone. Because it had been a long time. And I started to really believe again with, wait, I've done the Yamato IT. Wait, can you go back when you, oh, no, you can't. I started to really believe again, and it was really nice, and it had been a long time. I was thinking I finally got lucky, it's finally my turn. And it was really good. And she was like already, God damn it, bro, I fucking suck. Hello? She talking to me? Yo! Oh, she is not talking to me, oh my god. Oh my god. A little bit of a lesson here. ¿Qué hacen? Oh, that's Spanish. I was about to say that's actually German. I did take German for a little bit. I do remember that hello means hello in German. Wait. Carson. I'm not sure she's talking to me. And I'm not sure why I'm talking in this accent now, but basically, I remember it was going really good for a month. It was like typical lovey-dovey stuff, right? And then things went downhill around June, because it was the first time I had left the country. Bro. It was the first time I had left the country, and I had left for Honduras. And I remember I was telling her, and I was like, oh, like what if you're gonna lose feelings, you're not gonna like me anymore, everything's gonna go downhill. And she's like, oh, well, I will tell you we'll be fine, but I can't keep promises. Thanks for reassuring me. And I don't know, I'm not gonna get into any details of any dumb arguments. I'm gonna focus on the main points. Basically, it was, I guess, still good for like a week. Then she got, bro, who are you talking to? Bro. What? I'm gonna be like, hello, Kim. Bro, you're interrupting my story and my venting. I don't got time. God damn it, boy. I told you I ain't got no time for none of this shit. Basically, it was good for like a week, right? And then and then I remember whenever we first met, she told me, she was like, oh, one of the things about me that you gotta know is I just tend to get really distant. And I remember, I don't know, at the time I didn't think much of that, but I didn't realize how much that was like gonna be such a major part of her, like the distance. And with an anxious attachment person like me, that's like horrible. But basically, she started getting really distant and stuff whenever I was away. And she wasn't talking to me as much anymore. And I would ask her, I'd be like, hey, do you even still like me? And she'd tell me, yeah. And she would send me like little like reels that I guess would reassure me, I suppose. And even when I had come back finally, I still hadn't seen her in like, I didn't see her for like another 2 weeks after that, and I was already back. And I remember we had finally met up. She had finally agreed to actually meet up. And I just loaded into a different game. And I just lost my best friend. I'm literally here alone now. Who are these people? That could have potentially been the bestest friend that would have lasted for the rest of my life. And she's gone now. Bro, I didn't say that was gonna be a different game. Okay. So yeah. Eventually, she agreed to meet up. And whenever we met up, she basically told me, like, a script that I've seen many times with a lot of people. Basically told me that, oh, a lot has happened since I've been away, that she's been like discovering herself and she wants to be alone, and she's been learning to love herself and enjoy her own company, and she doesn't want anything, but she wants to try to be friends. She told me all of that and was like, so yeah, I don't want anything. But then like within that same night, that same conversation we just had 5 minutes ago, she started like holding my hand, and then we kissed. And then all of a sudden she had asked me, like the very next day, as I was telling a friend of mine how confusing all of that was, she was like, hey, we should hang out again. And all of a sudden it felt like things went back to normal. We were talking how we always did. And she wanted to see me again, and everything was back to the way it was before I had left. And then she technically, and then while all of this was happening, we weren't even together. We weren't dating. And basically, she quote unquote broke up with me like in August of 2024. She had sent me a message and was basically like, I just want to say I don't want to hurt you or anything, but I meant what I said, and I just can't give you what you're looking for. I want to be alone, all of this and all of that. And I'm man enough to admit the way that I am and what I do. I agreed because I didn't want to lose her. She told me I don't want to lose you, and I was like, I don't either. Because I didn't. And admittedly, in the beginning, I guess it was fine. We were still texting and stuff. Obviously, it wasn't the same, but at the very least, like, I guess we were still talking. But eventually, she just wasn't really talking to me anymore. And I would ask her, like, what's wrong, and I would try to get her to talk to me, and I would try to keep talking to her like if we were still talking, and she would tell me like, you don't seem to understand what I said about just being friends, and I don't know. Then I guess she started trying to like move on with other guys or something. And let's stay here for a minute and talk about things. And I remember I was just like, okay, I don't know, it hurt hearing that all the time. And I would keep on trying to talk to her, and I would double, triple, quadruple text to get any response. And then I remember, without any word, without anything to say, she just blocked me. That was like in September. And just how I mentioned earlier, I forgot how good it felt being that in love. I also forgot how bad it hurts. Holy shit, that scared the fuck out of me. Oh my god. But yeah, the same way that I forgot how good it felt, I also forgot how bad it hurts. And I was depressed, and I was heartbroken. And I remember comparing it to a friend of mine named Sydney, and I guess like another friend of mine named Diego. They went through pretty much like not the exact same thing, but really similar. And towards the end of it, Sydney basically just started talking about my friend Diego, saying that, and in the end, she just like started finding him really annoying and was wondering why he kept texting her, and that she just blocked him because she got annoyed. And I assumed it was the same case with me, and I was like, I just gotta move on. I guess I was just being really annoying, and she just blocked me because she just didn't want to talk to me anymore. And then I was moving on, like I really was. I was legitimately accepting it, and for the first time in my life, I faced everything head on, and I didn't run away from it. Unlike what I did with Monica. And then I remember I was slowly accepting everything and moving on. Then 2 weeks had passed, and then she had reached out to me, like, hi. And I remember I cried when I saw that, and I was hyperventilating. But, I gotta wrap it up. Wrap it up, buddy. You're yapping. And basically, okay, I can summarize it. She was like, oh, get me some alcohol. And then I went and got her alcohol, and she was being really friendly to me. And then I left, and she was like, thanks for getting that. You didn't have to, based on how we ended things. And I'm like, how we ended things? That's how you ended things. Oh my god, what the fuck? There's a roach on my backpack. It's on it. Oh my god. What do I do? I need to kill it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I don't even begin to. Man, I wish I would. Okay. Okay. I'm armed and I'm dangerous. I promise you I'm dangerous. Okay. Ooh. Ew, it's under my fucking shit. And I'm trying to record my video and there's a nasty ass roach here, bruh. Why? Okay, where are you? Ah, man. You Don't run over there, mother. Shit. Okay, I have an idea. Where is it? Where is it? I don't see the fucker. He's hiding on my fucking shoe. Oh shit. Oh, I flipped him. I got him. I got you exactly where I want you, you little shit. Motherfucker. Okay. Think I won. Realistically, I could leave his dumbass right there. He's stuck. Oh, that's a cool little spider. Look over there. Okay. Where even was I at? Stop being a pussy. Just kill it. Shit. Ah, fuck. Motherfucker. Damn it. Every second of that nasty ass leg is here. Shit. And I win. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up. Jesus Christ. That was disgusting. That was really gross. Okay. I need to wrap this up. So, yeah, she was like, how we ended things. And I was just like, no, you're good, no hard feelings or anything. I was like, it did hurt when you blocked me, but I was starting to accept the fact that I was never going to see or hear from you again. And she was like, I'm sorry. Because in the beginning, I really did want an apology or something, but eventually, like, the desire for that subsided. And I remember she apologized. She was like, I'm sorry for doing that. I figured it would be easy for you to move on. I was missing you, but I didn't want it to make it harder for you. And I was just like, yeah, no, it's okay or something. And like a week later, I was basically like, so are we like friends or what? She was like, yeah, as long as we respect each other's boundaries. And I felt okay with that. I was like, yeah, I'm glad she's back in my life again and we can be just friends. And I remember, wait, you're bad. She's schizophrenic. And it was like that. Then all of a sudden, she started like flirting with me again and stuff. Like how she used to. And I was reciprocating. And, you know, no explanation or anything. She was just doing it. And then eventually she stopped and she got like really distant again and just stopped talking to me. She was like very dry and very cold towards me. And at the time, I had met a girl around that same exact time. I had met a girl at a party. We're gonna call it the Texas State girl. I was really drunk. I met a girl. She thought I was cool. I got her socials. I guess she was really into me because I would take days to respond. Not just because I was just so depressed. Because it was around the time that I had just gotten blocked. And I was in no position to try to talk to anyone. And even then, with that horrible energy I gave her, she stayed for like 2 or 3 months and kept trying to make plans with me. And eventually the plans finally went through and I saw her and I thought it went really well. But then I found out from friends that she was like, I don't know, I feel like I just see him as a friend because he wasn't really talking. Which, that's cap. Like, if anything, I literally remember every single detail, and I was definitely the one that talked the most and kept trying to carry the... Anyways, that's besides the point. But that had happened, basically. She literally ghosted me. Like, she had stopped talking to me, so things didn't work out with that girl. And I was like, whatever. And then around the same time, I remember there was a point where Jocelyn had tried to ask me for advice for a guy. She was like, question, do you find me boring? There's this guy I'm talking to and sometimes we get quiet. I didn't even respond. I left her undelivered for hours. And when I did respond, I just put like IDK. She was like, haha, you're so dry. I left her unseen. I was like, I'm done. And I truly felt like I was done. I didn't care anymore. I was fully moving on. And she had asked me, she was like, do you want to hang out tonight? And I said yes. And I remember thinking, I was like, she's probably going to try to vent to me and I'm just going to tell her I have to go and I'm never going to speak to her again. And she did try to vent to me, or like she wanted to, but I immediately like pushed it aside and didn't even like entertain it. And then she was just like, we were just like casually catching up, I guess. I wasn't expecting that. And it was actually like really nice. So her little situation and mine didn't end up working out at literally the same time. And long story short, we started talking again and then we started dating. And that was like in November of last year. Our relationship lasted like a month and a half, and then she broke up with me. Right before she broke up with me, I had just met her, like her family, like all of her cousins and her sister, like during Christmas, and I was starting to really picture a future with her, and like looking forward to me doing the same and introducing her to my family. I was actually like really excited for that. And I really was thinking, I was like, maybe we're meant to be. Even like how we started dating felt very eerily similar to another friend of mine named Brian. It was like the same thing. They had stopped talking, talked to other people, didn't work out. They found their way back to each other. And I thought, oh, this is probably meant to be. We found our way back to each other. We're dating now. And I mean, it was going good. And then everything went downhill. My dog, rest in peace, Chappie, my homie of 10 years. I don't even think he quite made it to 10 years, but he passed away. Like, just days after that. And that really hit me, like, really bad. Like, the only thing I've always wanted for any pet, any animal that I have owned, and will own in the future, the only thing I want for my animals is for them to just, like, die a peaceful death of old age. And he got hit by a car, and he still had so much left to live. Like, I know he did. And I remember, I did try to go to her for comfort, and she was there for a little bit. But, oh my God, I just did this one. Oh, I can't go back. But then eventually she started being really cold about it. She was like, you can't keep feeling like shit about it. And I'm like, what? And then, yeah, then like a week after my dog died, she broke up with me. And I remember, I don't know exactly, basically she started bringing up like the future and saying that what she sees in her future, that she wants to get married within like 2 years. And she has all these things planned out for herself and her life and her family, and she feels like I have no ambition, I lack motivation, and all the time that she's known me, she's never seen any real effort in me trying to pursue something for my future. And she felt like I was going to hold her back. And she said that she feels like we both have a lot of growing to do. And she's like, you didn't do anything wrong, you're a nice guy. And she's like, I hope you don't see this as a bad thing. I know I'm probably the worst person to you right now. And I didn't know how to feel. I was devastated. Only very few people know, but for the first time in my life, I even sought therapy after that. I felt like I didn't have a lot of options. And I did therapy. I'm still doing it. Which, I mean, at the time, like, I really felt like I needed it, but I slowly am losing I don't feel like I need it anymore, I guess. I feel like, for the most part, I know how to deal with things on my own. It's just at the time, everything was just so much, so suddenly, that I felt like I had no other choice. Also, it's really fucking expensive. It's just like $70 a week. I can't pay for that anymore. And I'm like, bro, I can't do this anymore. And yeah, I mean, we had broken up, and I was really, really, really sad. But I started accepting the reasoning she gave me. I was like, at the end of the day, we don't want the same things, and I'm not ready for marriage or settling down or all the stuff she wants. So I guess it wasn't gonna work out. And I had asked her, like, maybe we can be friends, but we still weren't really talking anymore. And I remember, like, then she started the same thing. All of a sudden, we were broken up for like 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, she started texting me, like being all flirty and sending me cutesy little couple videos, and then she instantly and she was like, oh, I was gonna tell you we should get frozen yogurt or something. And then she immediately retracted it and was like oh, I'm done. I'm gonna go over here. She was like, oh, we always do this, we always repeat the same cycle of we talk well, you were like those exes that stop talking and talk again and repeat the same cycle over and over. And I'm like, the only reason it was ever even a cycle to begin with was because of you. And I don't know, and then I guess we weren't really talking, and her birthday came around, she wanted to hang out. Apparently my response wasn't enthusiastic enough, and then she didn't want to, so I didn't see her. And I had told her happy birthday a day or two later, and she was like, oh, you missed it, and I remember yours. And long story short, in March, she had blocked me again. And then I was really sad because my birthday was coming up. It was my birthday just a week after she had blocked me. And so far, I definitely want to say that was the worst birthday of my life. I never felt so alone. And it was the first time I didn't even post anything about my birthday. I didn't tell anyone. I kept it to myself. And I ended up, and I just the letter she wrote me was constantly repeating in my head of I guess our promises that were never able to be met, a future that was never able to be fulfilled. And she used to say, because in the letter she wrote, she was like, I can't wait to see what the future holds for us, and you bring so much joy in my life. And it was the first time anyone had ever written something like that for me and about me. Nobody has ever said anything like that about me. And I cried reading that letter. It really meant a lot to me. It still does. And that kept replaying in my head. And just everything that I was looking forward to. That it all just went downhill, I guess. And I remember thinking, how did things end up like this? 1 minute I had it all, and in the blink of an eye, everything fell apart before I even had a chance to react to any of it. And basically, I was really sad about that. But I slowly started to move on. I did. I slowly was just focusing on what was in front of me. And I realized that was the longest time that I had been blocked, because in the past it was just 2 weeks. And then this time before I knew it, a month had passed. And I was like, this time it's really over. I can close that chapter of my life. And I remember I was genuinely working towards that. And then she reached out again, a month and a half later, in April. It's pretty ironic that I'm pretty sure the time that she reached out again was the time that when we had first met. Exactly a year later. She had reached out and just texted me on Instagram, and she was like, hey, look, I tried your people's food. After almost 2 months of nothing, she's just like casually reaching out to me like nothing happened. And then she had added me on Be Real and everything. Never really said anything. I just had her on Be Real and everything. Like just there. She didn't really say anything. And I was really confused. And then I had added her on TikTok and she added me back. And I had her on there. And then literally from that point, from May to now recently, like a week ago, she was like, admittedly looking back at it now with the power of hindsight, we weren't really talking, not really. We weren't. But even so, she was still like leading me on. Like she would like send things about like, oh, you and your POV, you and your ex this, or she would show interest in like wanting to talk to me and see me and wanting to catch up and hang out, and was showing that she still thought about me and started bringing up stuff about when me and her were together. And then all of a sudden, she stopped doing that again. And she asked me, why do you still like me? I wasn't all that or that good of a girlfriend. It caught me off guard when she said that. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because you've been leading me on this whole year. And you haven't even been really moving on yourself. And then I opened up to her and sent her a paragraph telling her like all of my reasons and how I've been feeling. And she responded like a day later, and she was like sorry, I didn't know what to say. She didn't truly acknowledge it or respond to any specifics. She was just like, I'm surprised you viewed me like that at all. I always thought you didn't like me that much when we were together. And I basically tried to ask her to hang out again. And when I've been asking like this whole like past couple of months, she'd be like, I do want to, it's just that this and that. And this time she just straight up told me that she didn't want to see me. She was like, I'm okay, thanks. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna open up anyways because I want to talk about things. Because before that I had been like, I feel like we should talk. And she said, there's nothing to talk about. And then all I really wanted in the end was just a conversation and some clarification. And she couldn't even give me that. She just like kept ignoring me and leaving me unseen. And I just wanted to have like, wow. A conversation. In the end, she couldn't even give me that much anymore. And I basically, long story short, I was like, how do you feel about what I said? Like, does that make you feel any type of way? Like, do you like me at all anymore? The last thing she told me was, I just can't answer that. And I tried to ask her to elaborate, and then she blocked me again. That was like a week ago. And I don't know, like I know she's blocked me, like, and like quote unquote cut me off like multiple times now, but this time it feels a lot different than the other times. Just because this time it's like the fact that we haven't seen each other in like almost a year. And this time I just felt like this feeling of finality this time. Like it feels like it's like a lot different and it's nothing like the other times. So I know that yeah, it's like fully over, and I just feel this weird feeling, just the things we used to and now I'm seeing fucking people talking about their stupid ass relationship in the chat. Like I don't need to see that. Are they two? You're literally doing everything. But I don't know, I guess since the first time this ever even got a chance to become a cycle, like every single one of my friends and family said the same thing. Even strangers that I would tell about what was happening, everyone told me that I should have just blocked her, and I never did. I guess I just wanted everyone to be wrong, and I wanted it to be like the opposite of what they're telling me. I wanted it to be different. And I really believed in her and in us, and I truly was looking forward to a future with that girl. It was the first time I felt that seen and that loved by someone and accepted truly and fully for who I was. I never knew I could be loved like that until I met her. I never even felt that way with Monica, like ever that seen or loved. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna find something like that again for a long time. And I guess I really wanted to hold on to just because it's really hard to find something genuine these days. And I knew it's really hard for something like that to come around now. But I guess now I see that it has to be something that both of you want and that both of you see. And if only one of you continues to see things like that, then it's just never gonna work no matter how much you want it to. And I really tried. I know I'm not perfect, but I know I always try my best, and all I ever did was love her. If there was one bad thing I'd say I did was love her too much, and that's not a bad thing at all, so I didn't do anything wrong. And I never do, so it always just kind of hurts and leaves a deep pain inside when things like this happen, because I just never really understand why they leave, because it always feels like I didn't do anything wrong, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And even now with Jocelyn, like, I know I'm gonna accept what happened and everything, but it's just that, because I'm fully aware of, like, people break up all the time, things end all the time, and people are like, I don't want to be with you anymore, I'm gonna move on. And if that's what would have happened, like, I would have accepted that, but, like, that isn't what happened. She, like, reached back out to me, and even everything she was saying was enough to keep my hope alive. And then in the end, she gave me the energy she gave me, but she wasn't giving me that from the very beginning. And I don't know what the point of any of that was. It was just like a waste of my time. And now I always feel like people like me always get taken advantage of. The only thing I want is to be loved and appreciated and to be held on to, and for them to not let go. So I feel like I always go out of my way to make sure the person I love feels like seen, heard, wanted, chosen, loved, reassured. And it always feels like in the end, like nobody does that for me. Like they don't do the same for me. And I don't understand when they say they've been hurt by so many people from their past, and I do everything to show them how different I am. They end up hurting me the same way that they've been hurt. And it just really sucks. And I'm aware that, oh, if it didn't work out, obviously it wasn't meant to be, because if it was, then it would just be, and you guys would still be together, and nothing wrong would have happened. I know that. But it's like when I'm in love and living in that moment when I really love someone, I truly believe that it is meant to be and that we're going to be together for a long time. And it's not every day I fall in love. And when I do, it's because I genuinely see it going somewhere. And I don't like the feeling of losing people. And it's going to suck for a really long time. I mean, it took me 2 years to get over Monica. I have absolutely no idea how long it's even gonna begin to take with Jocelyn. And when it's like it's the first time I dealt with like an on and off cycle too. And when it becomes a cycle, you're used to them always coming back. And then when it's fully over, it's a lot harder to accept. And I don't know. I even wonder if she's ever gonna feel any regret or think about me one day, or wonder about me. I wonder that. Oh, and I even crashed my car too the next day after she blocked me. And you know, that was like great timing. I remember it hurt because I started thinking that like I wasn't able to tell her about that, and once upon a time there was a version of her that would have been so worried about me and like would have been by my side through that. And it's not that I just miss the company of just someone, because if all I cared about was just having someone in general, I would just be getting with anyone. I genuinely miss the person specifically that I'm with, and I genuinely truly love them. And I did so much, and I feel like I didn't deserve like for things to end this way and for her to treat me like this in the end. I really do wonder like why bad things always happen to good people. It truly will never make sense to me. And I'm aware that life goes on and eventually I'll get over it, but for now I just kind of have to sit with like this deep pain that sometimes it's really loud, other times it's like tolerable. And it's just a really shitty feeling of losing someone that you take the time to build that bond, that trust, to being able to be vulnerable and open and honest, something like real. It takes a really long time to build something like that. And now I'm just left with now she's just a stranger that knows everything about me. That's always gonna be such a weird feeling to me. I genuinely just don't understand how people can just walk away from something when nothing happened. And even now, I don't understand why. Because if she would have left me alone from blocking me in March, I would have been just fine now, but she clearly was showing me that she still thinks about things, but I guess she never really wanted to act on anything. I do truly believe deep down she does have a good heart. She just obviously ended up being the way that she is now and doesn't really think about putting others' feelings into consideration or if she's hurting others with what she's doing. She just does it. And I do believe she cared and that our love was real. I'm not about to sit here and be like, why did you pretend to love me? You never loved me. It was never real to you. No, I know it was. I don't doubt that at all. I guess she's just a girl that is unsure of herself. And I do truly hope the best for that girl. At the end of the day, I loved her. And there will always be a part in my heart that will always have some love for that girl, and I will never resent her in any way. I'll always be grateful for what we had. It really meant so much to me. It showed me so much. It gave me a lot of hope about having type of love that deep and genuine like I did with her. And I'm never gonna forget that. And yeah, I guess it's just a really shitty feeling. And I don't know. I just know I'm not gonna be ready for anything else in a really long time. And like a whole phase or anything like that, I think it's stupid, and that will never ever help me or bring me any sort of happiness or contentment. That will never help. And I just have to sit here with just knowing that I am the way that I am, and accepting that I'm gonna be sad for as long as I'm gonna be sad for. And at least now I know without a doubt in my mind that it's fully over between us. And this time I can truly close that chapter of my life. It hurts to say that, but I can actually accept it now. And I don't know, it sucks a lot. And the only thing I want is just to have something real. And someone that'll appreciate me and hold on to me and love me the way I love them. That's all I want in life. And I really don't like losing people. It sucks a lot. It sucks when so much happens in your life that you have absolutely no control over. And you desperately wish you could change the outcome and you can't. I just hope that one day I'll find someone that'll truly appreciate me, and that I'll know for sure will always be by my side 100% of the time. But I really did. No, she would say you'll find better, and and I would say you'll find someone else, you'll find better. And I say I didn't want to find better, I wanted you to be better. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I've been yapping for a really long time. I'm glad I live streamed it. I had a feeling and now it wasn't gonna be enough to say everything that was on my mind. And I don't know. Yeah, like I said, this is just how I feel in the moment. I just wanna put this on here for the record as like a send off. I don't wanna talk about it ever again. This will be the last time I talk about this in this video. But I just I don't know. Like I said, it just didn't work out between us, and there will always be a special place in my heart for that girl. No matter where she is, I really do hope that she'll be happy. And I just hope one day I can remember what it feels like to be me again. It took me 2 years to find out what that meant after Monica. I don't know how long it's gonna take this time. I just I don't know. One thing that I've heard a lot about lately is I need to just focus, see life as focusing in the moment. Just in the moment, if you have someone, that's the moment you're living in. Appreciate them, enjoy it, make the most of it. Live in that moment. And then if a moment comes when you lose that person, you gotta realize that's the moment you're living in. And I am trying that, to focus on what's in front of me in the moment I'm living in the present. It's just really hard, and it really sucks, and I always feel so misunderstood. And I don't know. Like I said, I know one day I'm gonna look back in this video and be like, man, I'm in a lot better place now. But until then, I'm just gonna sit here with my feelings, allow myself to be sad about things. I'm not gonna tell myself that's a bad thing or beat myself up about it. It's normal. And it genuinely hurts my heart saying I hope I find better, because I really didn't want to find someone else, but what can you do? It's just the way life goes sometimes. I just hope I'll find myself again soon. And I hope next time I'll do better. I hope next time it's something better. And I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave it at that. But it does suck a lot. I'll always remember you, Jocelyn. I don't forget people. And I hope things will be better soon. And whoever comes next in my life, I hope it'll be better. But I think I should just be alone for a while. I'm trying though. Just focusing one day at a time on what's in front of me. I just gotta keep reminding myself that I didn't do anything wrong, and at the end of the day, she's the one that let me go, walked away. She's the one that fumbled me, and I know that I would have gave her like the best thing ever, better than anything she would have ever had. And it was her choice to walk away from that. It wasn't mine. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll make an update video in another 3 years. But this is just how I feel for now, and I wanted to vent all of this. I haven't like written anything down. I just wanted to talk about things. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Alright, my boys. We gonna leave it right there. Yo! How does Corey does it? He goes, make sure the samurai slice that like button. And until next time, my brothers and sisters. I don't know, sometimes I wish I was religious. Because then if I was, I would believe I at least have God by my side. But I don't believe in that, so I have no one by my side. I'm just alone. And I'm aware that every other aspect of my life isn't terrible, and I'm aware of that, but I just gotta live with that loneliness that... Bro, are you gay? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna... Yo, he wearing the Joe Goldberg hat. Yeah. Maybe I am Joe Goldberg, huh? This is all an obsession. You've never loved anyone. It's all just been a fixation. You don't know what love is. Yes, I do. I swear. But, I don't know. I'm just gonna try to focus one day at a time. And I know I'll get over it. I know things will get better. But it does suck when the feeling of not being appreciated. But everything happens for a reason. Sometimes I do wish I believed in God so I wouldn't feel so alone. Because I do miss just knowing that you're chosen again. That I miss feeling significant to someone. Such a nice feeling. But I guess now I just have to find out what it feels like to love myself. I haven't done that in a really long time. We'll find out. But maybe I'll update. We'll see what happens. Let's do a Markiplier outro. Bye bye!